I remember a guy from the studio, an executive, coming down, and he sat down with us and he said, I want you to understand something. We can't do an episode that ends the war. We said, why not? And he said, do you remember The Fugitive? We said, yes, we remember The Fugitive. He said, well, in The Fugitive, at the end of the show, David Jansen decided he wanted to find the one-armed man who was actually the perpetrator of the murder, and he was to clear himself, doctor, whatever he was, murder. Well, they did that, they put it on the air, and it killed the show in syndication. So we sat and looked at him for a minute, and I finally said, it may surprise you to know that most of the people in the country understand that the Korean War came to an end. He sort of looked at us and then got up and walked out of the room.
MASH to me is the great existential comedy / paradox. You have these men who are forced against their will to go to a war zone to try to save lives in an arena where the objective is to kill people.
I remember Bert reading several times a quote that went into the show. A nurse, when they reached the peace agreement, where the boundaries would be drawn, I think it was to go into effect 12 hours later, and the boundaries were to be set wherever they were 12 hours later. So the fighting continued, trying to guide a couple more inches here and a couple more inches there. And in a MASH unit, the press were saying to a nurse, how do you feel about peace? And she pointed to the triage and said, and this is a quote that Bert read to us several times as we were getting ready for the ending, the nurse said, does this look like peace to you? We gave that line to Hot Lips in the finale.
MeTV remembers the MASH finale will return. Presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Stay tuned for more memories from the MASH cast and crew.